So I'm going to show you how to view and download the outputs of the Beaver Restoration Assessment tool in some GIS program. I'll use ArcGIS as an example. And if you go to the website and go to data, and we'll use Utah data here. We've already shown how you can go in, and we've got this repository, and I would suggest downloading layer files and shape files to do this. The layer files, if you're working in ArcGIS, don't have the data. They're very tiny. But what they do have is the symbology. So I'm going to just put these in a folder here. So we've got one for the capacity, one for the conflict, and one for the conservation layers. I won't bother to download those instructions because I'm explaining it to you here. And if we go to our shape files, I'm going to download by DWR region. We'll use Northeastern as an example. You can download the zip file, which has the whole shape file, all those individual files in it. And so that'll take just a second here. Well, that's downloading. I've already started a empty map document here that I just added in the state of Utah. Added the some context here with the elevation hillshade in the background, and then I brought in the wildlife regions just from the AGRC. So we're going to use an example up here from the northeastern region. And well, that's redrawing here. So I'm going to download now the shapefile, and it's going to have in here, it's going to have the perennial drainage network for this area, and then we'll use those layer files to symbolize it by the different outputs of BRAT. While we're waiting for that to download, I'll just show you one other thing. You can get this off of the AGRC website. So if you click on here, it'll take you into Utah AGRC and the Beaver Restoration Assessment tool. Basically, they have the whole state, and you can just download everything in either geodatabase, shapefile, and then the layer files are there as well. So that's that, and I'm just going to show us here. We've got the layer files there, and then I'm going to unzip the shapefile. So there's that. Go ahead and get rid of the zip file, and so now I'll come back into Arc, and if I add data from that same folder, I can grab this, and so comes in, I can see I've got the drainage network for the whole northeastern region. One of the problems with this is it does not show me the symbology. And so if I look at any segment, this will be similar to what we saw on Google Earth. We have a whole bunch of different attributes in here. And so the key ones are going to be the dam density prediction for existing capacity, for potential capacity. These are dams per kilometer. Then there's going to be the probability of conflict, 50% in this example, and then a few others here. So while those attributes exist for every single little segment, and they're all buried in the attribute table here, we do have some layer files that you can symbolize by the sort of key outputs. You can symbolize by any of them, obviously, but so what I'm going to do so that we make it easier to symbolize by all of them, I'm going to copy this, and I'm just going to paste this layer in 4 times. And what we'll do is we'll call this this one BRAT existing capacity. We can call this one BRAT historic. Call that conflict. We'll call that. Okay. So I'm going to turn off. Right now, they just look like the 4 of the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the properties, or the first one here, and I'm going to go to categories, and I'm going to import, and what I'm going to do is grab the capacity model, and I'll apply that to, instead of the potential, what I'm going to apply that to is the existing capacity. So PT is potential or historic, and EX is existing. And I'll go ahead and hit apply. And if I don't like the line weights as thick as they are here, you can always left click and do properties for all symbols. Change those to 1 or whatever you like. So there we're looking at the existing capacity output for everywhere. And if I now bring in the historic, actually I can just import it, and what I'll do is I'll import it from the existing, hit OK, and this time I want to make sure I apply that to the potential field. That's what I want to show. And so now this is the historic, and if I turn back on existing, we'll see a little contrast there. Of course, you can zoom into any layer, and if you do have the effects toolbar, so mine is right up here. So this is the effects toolbar, and if I put that BRAT X on top, and I use the swipe tool, I can kind of go through and see the difference swiping back and forth between these. So that's kind of handy. Now let's bring in the conflict. Oops, we gotta go to categorical, and then we'll hit import. And oh, maybe that is quantities. I can't remember. Anyway, we'll go here, add, and that is the layer, and then this is the correct one. This is the probability of conflict. Hit OK, apply. So there's our conflict potential layer. OK, and then if you want the management layer, we can go to categories and we can import in the restoration conservation. That is the correct field. Maybe I'll make these all 1.5 or something. Oops, probably a little too thin. And there's our management layer. Okay, so that's a way you can get all the layers in and play with them and do whatever analysis you want to do. So have fun with that. All right, take care.